cholesterol, help to regulate your blood sugar levels, help to regulate your blood pressure by eating properly and having good exercises. Give thanks again as we literally step into the food of 7. This is what we're going to do, a nice green soup with our amaranth, what we call our zepina. It's just going to be predominantly zepina. And since I'm going to make the soup like a green soup, and it's going to be creamy, some zepina fall right into our oils. What we're going to do, we're going to just wash it out like this. And I'm going to use the stock because I'm going to blend it. I already have my water on the fire. Just take out the leaves that are not too good. Just clean it out. Even if you've washed it, and it's always good to just wash it again. Make sure it's clean and proper. So just wash it out, leave some water here, and I'm going to use the main stock of this to literally, all this is going to go in the food. And normally the zepina bears a flower to the top. This flower is what is the seed that is used essentially in countries like Ethiopia and the eastern countries, where people use that to literally, as we say, grind into flours. So all I'm going to do to this now, I'm just going to take out this sickly looking leaf. I'm going to just chop it up a bit. Not too big. You know. All this here. Zepina. I'm going to just put this portion inside. Right into our pot. Right here. In the meantime, while this is in the pot, what I'm going to do specifically, I'm going to begin the preparation of the other aspect of the feast that we are going to be doing, which is basically a caramelized ripe plantain. Oil right here in this pot. It's a bit of oil because I want the ripe plantain to be a bit caramelized, and we are going to use some celery sticks to use right with this here. So the celery sticks, I'm going to leave them very long. Just cut them like this into strips. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut it in halves. And put it right in the oil. A bit of oil because we're not going to use the oil, we just want to get this thing caramelized. I'm going to take out the skin of our ripe plantain. Then just going to chop it up into strips. Frying strips, very slippery. Another one here. This ripe plantain, it's a simple little appetizer. Just give our soup eaters a bit something more tasty that they could have. You know, people love their taste. Make sure everything going good in that here. Celery is caramelizing. I'm just gonna put in our plantain. Right, put in the plantain in here just to get it caramelized. It's not going to be served with the oil. I'm going to put in our radishes. The radishes have a bit of a bitter taste, so I'm just going to put the radishes right in little strips, circular. Make it very simple. So we're going to have like a sweet and a bitter melee. Mix it up properly. You know, let's put this in here. Get everything a little browned. I'm gonna use a good portion of basil in this. Make it a bit basil. With this I'm not gonna use any salt. And the primary seasoning here is going to be some basil. Going to use some dill. Not gonna be too savory, it's gonna be more of a sweet consistency. So everything is just caramelizing. Just to leave the greenness. And the radish is literally gonna be a bit parboiled, not really overcooked. So this is good enough. It's really what we call the fast food. So you have a bit of each here. You just get a bit more of the celery. So this here would be served basically like this. And just before you eat your soup, you could just take this little streaks of this here and bite it up, a little piece of this here and bite it up, and this here would go straight with our soup for our course. So as even this soup here is not a soup that we are gonna make overboil at all, because as it's already, you can see the greenness of the water is already boiling. So all I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna take this out, blend it in some coconut cream, and after blending it in the coconut cream, just put some seasoning and that's it. So you have our blender, you have our coconut cream right here. I'm gonna put half of this. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna take out these leaves. Just take out these leaves from the soup, from the boiling water, and you're gonna see that all these leaves here, take them out. And we could see that literally the water is green. Why? Because it contains the chlorophyll from that specific leaf that we have here. So we're gonna just take this out. Make sure we take out everything from it. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna use some of the green leaves and we're gonna use some of the leaves that were not cooked at all. So these here were partially cooked, and the heat from the partially cooked one, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put in the rest of the stalks that I left here right into the blender. I'm gonna put in some fire underneath the stove again to keep that water a bit hot. So when I'm ready for it, I could put in everything right inside of that here. That's it here. You see everything is green. That's filled with chlorophyll, and still you have the fiber of what we call our zipina. Very rich in iron, very rich in vitamins A, very rich in proteins also. We're just gonna pour this in. Alright, just pour this in. Stir it up a bit. And cover it up. And what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to get in some of the herbs to put into it. You know, we're going to put our chives. Need to clean out the chives properly. Chives here. While this is boiling, just take out that piece here, it's a bit dirty. This outer shell of the chives, you could always take it out. Make sure that it's clean. Because sometimes, you know, people get infected just because they leave dirt on their food. Because even the soil contains lots of microorganisms. So if you're going to do a salad, especially if your food is going to be raw, it's very important that you take off all the remnants of the dirt from the food. So this here is going to chop off that little aspect, the roots part of the chive, just because there might still be some dirt remaining. I'm going to chop up these chives here as part of a seasoning, just to get it as feel